Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 origin continent based on novel. So let's start. Monarch of Yu country asked, Brother Luo He, when can you lend a hand? After all, it was a hasty visit, and once Luo Feng took action, he would face the entire pressure of Shi Kingdom. Usually, preparations needed to be made in advance. Whenever you need, Luo Feng said with a smile. Good, the monarch of Yu country was overjoyed. How refreshingly straightforward. This Luo He was just too straightforward. If the godly kings of the land of origin were all this decisive, he, the monarch of Yu country, would have made a great many friends already. Let's wait one day, the monarch of Yu country said. I need one day to reclaim these 10 primal chaos prefectures, as they all currently have owners. Once Brother Luo He repels the Shi Kingdom, it will be much more troublesome to reclaim them. These 10 primal chaos prefectures, being the closest to Huyang City and along the border, were in terrible times, and those feudal lords were willing to sell them off. But once the situation improved, ultimately, they were territories cultivated over many long years. The monarch would want to reclaim them. Even if the feudal lords agreed, the conditions would certainly be high. Good. I will wait for the news from the monarch, Luo Feng said. I'll arrange it right now. The monarch of Yu country stood up, his furry appearance sincere as he looked at Luo Feng. Brother Luo He, the favor you've done for me this time, I will definitely repay. Luo Feng rose with a smile. When I need the help of the monarch of Yu country in the future, I will certainly ask. The monarch of Yu country immediately took his leave, taking away the 6 attendants, who had been leisurely eating and drinking within Huyang City, heading straight back to the royal capital of Yu Kingdom. I'm about to face the Emperor of Tiankuan. Luo Feng stood atop the city lord's mansion tower, his eyes cold. He had agreed so readily, even offering a lower price, partly because he indeed appreciated the void proliferation mother tree leaf given to him by the monarch of Yu country in his weaker years. On the other hand, it was also to naturally come into conflict with a few monarchs of Shi Kingdom and personally test the detailed strength of Emperor of Tiankuan. After all, he's at the second realm of godly king and also cultivates the primordial bloodline. Let's prepare with peace of mind. Luo Feng sat cross-legged on the tower, quietly awaiting the moment to act. Inside Zhujiang City, Shi Kingdom has invaded on a large scale. Many primal chaos prefectures along the border have been invaded and occupied, but my Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture alone has been spared. The Marquis of Zhujiang frowned, feeling both relieved and uneasy. As the surrounding primal chaos prefectures fell one by one, all the neighbors around Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture had become territories of the Shi Kingdom. His primal chaos prefecture was completely surrounded. The Shi Kingdom not attacking my Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture is certainly not because of me, but because of godly King Luo He. The Marquis of Zhujiang also subscribed to Luo He's intelligence service, although he only subscribed to the basic intelligence. Higher-level intelligence was too expensive. Godly King Luo He, the outside world claims, after he became a godly king, he should have the strength of an overlord. But these are all rumors, never verified. Even if he has become an overlord, godly King Luo He is a direct disciple of the emperor, and the emperor of Tiankuan of the Shi Kingdom has a very good relationship with the imperial clan of the Flame-Wind ancient country. Maybe godly King Luo He will side with Shi Kingdom. The Marquis of Zhujiang was very uneasy. In such chaotic circumstances, he had no power to resist. His fate depended on the 2 large kingdoms, and on Luo He's attitude. No matter what, godly King Luo He is a man of deep loyalty. The Marquis of Zhujiang had watched Luo Feng grow from within Huyang City. Zhujiang, the monarch suddenly contacted him. The Marquis of Zhujiang was startled and responded with immense respect. Monarch, I intend to reclaim your Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture, the monarch of Yu country said. I can exchange it for primal chaos prefecture in the hinterlands of Yu Kingdom. Are you willing? The Marquis of Zhujiang was taken aback and quickly replied, Of course I'm willing. But the large city, Huyang City, in my Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture, belongs to godly King Luo He. I only control parts of Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture. I know, I plan to exchange Shijiang Primal Chaos Prefecture with you, the monarch of Yu country said. Shijiang Primal Chaos Prefecture. This is quite a bit larger than my Zhujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture, and its resources are more abundant, the Marquis of Zhujiang said. In this exchange, I have no authority to exchange Huyang City. This exchange is also Brother Luo his wish, said the monarch of Yu country. The Marquis of Zhujiang was shocked. Brother Luo his wish. Godly King Luo, he was standing on the side of the monarch. I naturally agree with the intentions of the monarch and godly King Luo he, the Marquis of Zhujiang said. Good. The monarch of Yu country cut off the communication immediately and continued contacting the next primal chaos realm. I plan to reclaim the Qianshui Primal Chaos Prefecture under your name. I can compensate you with 300 billion cosmic sand and a large city in the hinterland of Yu Kingdom all at once. Are you willing? The monarch of Yu Kingdom contacted the Marquis Qianshui. Of course. You can choose to leave Yu Kingdom, and then these compensations will be forfeited. The prerequisite for a primal chaos overlord to have a fief was to serve Yu Kingdom forever. Once one left Yu Kingdom, they automatically lost ownership of the fief. I am naturally willing to serve Yu Kingdom. I am willing to exchange the fief for 300 billion cosmic sand and a large city, the Marquis Qianshui said. Although leaving Yu Kingdom granted freedom and significantly reduced danger, it would also mean the loss of these resources. Good, the monarch of Yu country said, and immediately contacted the next primal chaos realm. 300 billion cosmic sand seemed like a lot, but the output of a primal chaos prefecture was very high every era, with residence fees and a plethora of rare natural treasures yielding billions of cosmic sand every era. A primal chaos overlord usually had a vast clan to care for, so they were at least awarded a large city. Otherwise, it would be difficult to sustain the clan. Now that the Shi Kingdom has invaded on all fronts, at least I should first exchange for a huge amount of resources, Qianshui Marquis contemplated. A large city in the future will barely provide for the clan and subordinates. I'm afraid I won't get a bit for myself. These 300 billion cosmic sand will be all I have for my long years of cultivation. If I decide to leave Yu Kingdom in the future, half of this 300 billion cosmic sand according to the rules must be returned. The Qianshui Marquis weighed his options. Not every Marquis had a complete primal chaos prefecture as a fief. They could also choose some resources and a large city. Joining a kingdom had its benefits. Leaving also had its costs. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. In the dire situation, the monarch of Yu country very smoothly reclaimed the 10 primal chaos prefectures. Except for the Marquis of Zhujiang, who was exchanged for a larger and richer primal chaos prefecture in the hinterlands of Yu Kingdom, the other marquises only had the option to exchange for 300 billion cosmic sand plus a large city, or to leave. Of the other 9 marquises, 6 chose to exchange resources, and 3 chose to leave. The territories of those 2 primal chaos realm lords had been completely occupied by Shi Kingdom, and they were forced to relocate their entire families away. They weren't optimistic about the future of Yu Kingdom, and chose to seize the opportunity to sever ties completely. As for resources, joining another country would yield resources just the same. Let's go. Shi Kingdom is clearly more dominant, and Emperor Tian Kuan has more friends. Even if we withstand this time, Yu Kingdom is still destined to decline in the future. These 300 billion grains of cosmic sand aren't so easy to take. It's a fight to the death, and if you want to back out later, you have to return half. Better to choose a safer place. The 3 primal chaos realm lords, along with their families, henceforth parted ways with Yu Kingdom. The monarch of Yu country naturally wouldn't obstruct their departure. After all, the conditions for withdrawing from the alliance had been made crystal clear when recruiting primal chaos realm lords. Godly kings would not easily break such public commitments. Luo He, the younger brother, all 10 primal chaos prefectures have been reclaimed. You may take action now, the monarch of Yu country communicated through causality. That was quick. Atop a tower of the Huyang City Lord's mansion, the cross-legged Luo Feng opened his eyes. From here on out, leave it to me. Shi Kingdom was advancing comprehensively along the border between the 2 nations. Fusion Primal Chaos Prefecture, Fusion City. Boom 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 tilde tilde tilde. The the colossal army of eternal true gods, had arrived above Fusion City, their formidable presence filling countless creatures within the city with terror and unease. There stood 3 terrifying figures outside the city. One figure, towering like a mountain, was even larger than the Fusion City itself, his breath creating fearsome storms. Merely the sight of such a massive being sent a chill down the spines of all creatures within the city. Another figure was slightly smaller, but still tall enough to rival the city walls of Fusion City, surrounded by thunder and lightning. The last figure was the smallest, but the fiery red light he emitted covered the entire sky, making his presence the most terrifying. Marquis Fusion, do you really think you can stop our grand army all by yourself? The mountainous figure laughed heartily, his laughter shaking the entirety of Fusion City and leaving the city's defending army devoid of any will to fight. On one hand, the opposing allied army was enormous, and on the other, those 3 primal Chaos Realm beings were ready to strike at any moment. Marquis Fusion, if you have the guts, take action. Ha ha, we've been killing our way here, and you people from Yu Kingdom just keep retreating. It's so boring. The voices of Sha Kingdom's 3 primal Chaos Realm lords echoed between heaven and earth. Within the Marquis mansion, the grey-robed Marquis Fusion, looking at this scene, felt both anger and powerlessness. His Fusion Primal Chaos Prefecture wasn't among the 10 Primal Chaos Prefectures selected by Luo Feng, and even now, he was still reluctant to abandon the territory he had long called home. The monarch hasn't commanded, and the 4 godly kings remain silent. Marquis Fusion sighed internally. Oh well, it can't be stopped. Suddenly, hum! An invisible power of the world spread everywhere. What's this? Marquis Fusion was shocked. Who is this? Even the 3 primal Chaos Realm beings from Sha Kingdom changed color, as the world's power that enveloped everything was unhidden, overbearing, and terrifying, and even the weakest creatures could feel this power pressing everything around them. The whole world darkened. At this moment, not only Fusion City, but an expanse billions of times vast was shrouded in it. Sha Kingdom's invasion included a total of 12 primal chaos prefectures, all enveloped by Luo Feng's power of the world. The straight-line distance between these 12 primal chaos prefectures was quite far, beyond the reach of Luo Feng's world life form true body. But Luo Feng had dispatched 2 avatars. Each avatar, even with only 1,000th of the energy reserve, far surpassed the might of a primal chaos realm being. The avatar's inner world was exceedingly rich in life potency, naturally leading to the formation of an inner world, and the scope of their world reflection could cover up to 8 primal chaos prefectures. A world life form, 1 true body, 2 avatars. World reflection was enough to cover all the invaded lands. All of Sha Kingdom's invading army, including the 35 primal chaos realm beings participating, were completely enveloped by the power of the world. What is that? Countless creatures looked up as they saw the sky suddenly turn into primal chaos. This? Only the primal chaos realm beings could see clearly. It was an immensely huge face. The face was so massive, it surpassed what eternal true gods could see, and only primal chaos realm beings could discern the true features of this enormous face. It was the face of Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked down upon the 12 primal chaos prefectures, and his face was so large that even regions beyond the 12 prefectures, such as within Sha Kingdom's own territories with primal chaos realm beings, could see this gigantic face. The mere sight chilled these primal chaos realm beings to the bone. I am Luo He. The giant face enveloping the sky above the 12 primal chaos prefectures began to speak, its voice indifferent. I am here at the invitation of the monarch of Yu country to deal with the matter of Sha Kingdom's invasion into Yu Kingdom. The voice, grand and resounding, reverberated through the heavens and the earth of the 12 primal chaos prefectures. All of Sha Kingdom's invading forces, along with their primal chaos realm beings, looked on with dread at this scene, feeling that at this moment, this Luo He godly king was the sovereign over the 12 primal chaos prefectures. Boom boom boom, the power of the world churned fiercely as if the heavens and earth were in wrath. All the invading armies and primal chaos realm beings were swept up by the power of the world, forcibly expelled from the large cities, and tumbled into the wilderness beyond. Little ones invading from Sha Kingdom, I give you 1 day to flee Yu Kingdom. If you haven't left in 1 day, then you'll never need to leave. The giant face of Luo he looked down upon the weak, and said indifferently. The troops of Shi Kingdom, under the compulsion of the power of the world, had previously fallen into the wilderness in utter panic, devoid of any resistance. But when they heard Luo Feng's voice between heaven and earth, they breathed a sigh of relief. This terrifying existence, Luo He, is indeed most merciful, and didn't vent his anger on us eternal true gods. If he had been more ruthless, perhaps a single thought might have annihilated us all. The eternal true gods of the Shi Kingdom's troops were rather grateful. Godly King Luo He is truly merciful. He didn't involve us. The many cultivators at the primal chaos realm of Shi Kingdom also experienced a bout of terror, although they all had some resurrection carriers. The complete annihilation of their true bodies and the loss of treasures would still be heartbreaking. Under normal circumstances, a godly king would not bully the weaker. But during a war between two countries, the methods of a godly king would be much more merciless and cruel. Some godly kings would carry out indiscriminate slaughter. For example, during their conquest of enemy countries, the Emperor of Tian Kuan from Shi Kingdom would completely flatten the enemy king's territories, leaving no creature alive in the royal capitals. Others used the wars as an excuse to vent and devour numerous cities. Still others, like the ancestral god of the snow realm, would often instigate massive crimes even in times of peace. Therefore, for these weaker ones, during a war between two countries, Luo Feng did not take his wrath out on the weak. He was definitely one of the most merciful among the godly kings. Godly King Luo, he has given us 1 day to leave quickly. The war has escalated now, it's beyond our ability to intervene. One by one, the cultivators at the primal chaos realm took initiative to withdraw their troops and quickly made their way. With just the troops, escaping from the boundaries of Yu Kingdom in 1 day would indeed be difficult. But with a primal chaos realm cultivator leading the escape, the speed was much faster. Luo Feng's power of the world enveloped 12 primal chaos prefectures, creating a huge commotion that was noticed by all the powerful beings of the land of origin. Has Luo He, who has just become a godly king, managed to control the range of 12 primal chaos prefectures? Noted the godly kings of flame-wind ancient country, and even a few emperors were paying attention. Considering the scope of his power of the world, it's undoubtedly reached the invincible level of the first realm of a godly king. Without any external help, reaching the invincible status in the first realm of a godly king is indeed possible for a few in the current era. But to achieve this step right, after becoming a godly king, in the history of the land of origin, Luo He should be the third one. The first one was Earth God King, the second was Emperor Qing, and now the third is Luo He. Although Earth God King is at the second realm of godly king, he is capable of fighting beyond his level with emperors and monarchs, even surviving being surrounded and attacked by multiple monarchs of Thunder ancient country, and still remains unconstrained to this day. No need to mention Emperor Qing. The potential of Luo He is terrifying. The godly kings of flame-wind ancient country, who mostly haven't cultivated the primordial bloodline, are still very clear-headed and rational, knowing that it's better to form an alliance with Luo He rather than making an enemy of him. Another powerful loner cultivator has emerged, since the godly kings of Thunder ancient country, noting the situation in Yu Kingdom from afar. The ancestral gods are too merciful. If the two ancestral gods had joined forces, they could completely monopolize all the resources of the land of origin. These loner cultivators wouldn't even have the chance to grow. If Luo He were part of the imperial clan, he might have the potential to reach the ultimate realm. But as a loner cultivator, he's probably just another Earth God King at best. The godly kings of Thunder ancient country chatted casually, not really concerned. In terms of peak-level combat power, the two great imperial clans hold an absolute advantage. Luo Feng's talent and potential at most make the godly kings of Thunder ancient country take notice. On the land of origin, there are not many powerful beings that can attract their attention, but Luo Feng is now one of them. Last time, I invited him to enter my Two Realms palace, he didn't accept. No rush, he will feel the pressure of the two great imperial clans. In a regular city tavern, a man drinking smiled as he looked in the direction of Yu Kingdom, his aura completely ordinary, such that even emperors and monarchs would not notice anything special about him. Shadow Sky Realm. Sitting cross-legged inside a pavilion, a figure with long hair, whose power permeated the outside world, also sensed the overwhelming power of the world covering 12 primal chaos prefectures in Yu Kingdom. Luo He is gradually revealing his brilliance, murmured the long-haired figure. Luo Feng had once killed an envoy of the Shadow Sky Realm, and rather than being angry, the Lord of the Shadow Sky Realm was pleased. To possess the strength of the invincible first realm of a godly king right, after achieving godhood. Even I, when I first became a godly king, took over 1,000 eras to reach the invincible strength of the first realm of a godly king without external help. Luo His talent is truly terrifying. The more terrifying, the better. The powerful among us loner cultivators are still too weak, looked the long-haired figure towards Luo He. Luo He is still very weak, currently only at the threshold of an overlord level. He was pleased with Luo Feng's growth, yet he knew that Luo Feng was not yet at a level to interfere in their conflicts. Being invincible in the first realm of a godly king signifies one as an overlord of the land of origin, yet this is just the baseline for overlords. Like the Emperor of Tian Kuan, who is in the second realm of a godly king, and also cultivates the primordial bloodline, he is a proper overlord of one side, far more intimidating than Luo He. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Shi Kingdom's capital, inside the royal palace. Luo He actually dares to intervene in a war between two nations. Wu Xiang, the old ancestor, was furiously shocked as he gazed into the distance towards the horizon. Luo Feng's massive face covered more than 10 primal chaos prefectures. Even from within the Shi Kingdom's capital, he could still be seen clearly, thanks to the strength of a godly king. The 4 godly kings gazed from afar, shocked and pressured. The power that enveloped more than a dozen primal chaos prefectures already proved one point. Luo Feng's strength had indeed reached the overlord level. Big brother, he has driven out our dispatched Shi Kingdom troops. Wu Xiang, the old ancestor, urgently asked, how should we respond? If we endure this, I'm afraid it would become a joke throughout the land of origin. Sitting there, the Emperor of Tian Kuan looked at the vast face in the sky and indifferently said, endure. This plan was devised by myself and some friends. Luo He alone cannot stop it. The 4 godly kings all breathed a sigh of relief upon hearing this. Big brother, what should we do next? The Demon Blade Godly King asked. He is Emperor Qing's direct disciple, we still have to give him some face, the Emperor of Tian Kuan calmly said. Skull Peak, you excel in the clone technique. Send an avatar to meet Luo He. Tell Luo He to retreat quickly, and I can pretend nothing happened. If he continues to interfere with this matter, hinder us. I will make sure he pays a severe price and deeply regrets it. Yes, the Skull Peak Godly King responded. Among all 5 godly kings of Shi Kingdom, only Skull Peak Godly King excelled in the clone technique. Exactly, because of the clone technique, he had been invited by the Emperor of Tian Kuan to join them, as many matters suited the Skull Peak Godly King to handle. This war, is it the will of the monarch and several godly kings at the second realm that should be informed to Luo He? Skull Peak Godly King asked. Inform him, the Emperor of Tian Kuan indifferently said. To prevent him from acting foolishly. Yes, the confidence of Skull Peak Godly King grew even stronger. The face of Luo Feng that enveloped more than 10 primal chaos prefectures, gazed towards the direction of the Shi Kingdom's capital. The noise he made with his intervention made various forces across the land of origin take notice. The godly kings of Shi Kingdom were definitely aware of it. Here it comes. Luo Feng sensed an apparition appearing in the wilderness, a golden skeletal figure that looked at Luo Feng with a smile. Skull Peak Godly King. Luo Feng recognized the other party. Skull Peak Godly King also practiced the great Tao of life origin, but his strength was far less than that of the ancestral god of the Snow Realm, let alone Luo Feng. Yet, he could still condense many skeletal avatars. S tilde the novelia. Ne asterisk T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The great Tao of life origin was just like that, although inferior in combat, it was much stronger in terms of survival. Luo He, Godly King, Skull Peak Godly King stood before Luo Feng, still very humble, and smilingly said, I do not know what promise the monarch of your country has given you, but I must clarify that the original intent of this war between two nations is not to annihilate your kingdom. Behind this war is the decision of my monarch, the Emperor of Tian Kuan, and several godly kings at the Second Realm. If you obstruct, you would offend not just my monarch, but also several others of the same level, Skull Peak Godly King said. I have come here also hoping that Luo He, Godly King, can understand the key point and withdraw early. My monarch will not pursue it further. Luo He, Godly King, and our Sha kingdom can still be friends. Not pursue it further. Luo Feng said, the Emperor of Tian Kuan is indeed quite magnanimous. My monarch loves to make friends and likes to make friends with someone like Luo He, Godly King, Skull Peak Godly King said. Unfortunately, the monarch of Yushui is my good friend, Luo Feng, looking down from above, leisurely said. I have already promised the monarch of Yushui, and naturally, I won't break my word, betray a good friend. Upon hearing this, Skull Peak Godly King felt uneasy. This time, the entire Sha kingdom troops will withdraw, and I can represent you kingdom in not pursuing this invasion. Luo Feng looked down, thus resolving this war. You won't pursue it? Skull Peak Godly King couldn't help saying, didn't Luo He, Godly King, understand? This is a joint decision made by my monarch and several friends. Are you sure you truly want to block it? I have promised the monarch of Yushui. I must see it through, Luo Feng said, looking down. Go back and tell the Emperor of Tian Kuan, you kingdom, I have secured it. Don't force me to act. Luo He, Godly King, I am kindly reminding you, yet you still refuse to repent, Skull Peak Godly King warned. I can tell you, if you persist alone, you will pay a heavy price. Then, you will deeply regret it. You also tell the Emperor of Tian Kuan, the moment he acts, he will also have to pay a severe price. Luo Feng coldly said. Very well, Skull Peak Godly King said. There's no need for this avatar to leave. Luo Feng gave him a cold look. The terrifying power of the world instantly converged, focusing on this avatar of Skull Peak Godly King, instantly crushing it to dust. Crushing a Godly King's avatar represented Luo Feng's attitude. Far in the Sha kingdom's capital, the Emperor of Tian Kuan, who had been closely watching the whole negotiation process, felt his face grow utterly cold as Luo Feng crushed that avatar of Skull Peak Godly King. In the first realm of Godly King, almost reaching the threshold of a region's overlord, yet daring to be so arrogant, the Emperor of Tian Kuan stood up as the earth seemed to tremble. I will let him know what price he has to pay for ignoring my goodwill and still choosing to offend me. Boom. The Emperor of Tian Kuan instantly disappeared. This video will end here.